अब और दूंगा भर भर के, complicated with lot of chores. ठीक है, चले. So reflection of sound. पर शॉर्ट में कवर किया है इसको, 9th में जरूरत भी नहीं है. वी डोंट नीड टू कवर इट इन दैट डेप्थ, बट remember one thing, sound is a wave. Similarly, light is also a wave. So when you go in higher classes, you will find that the laws of reflection hold true here also. Laws of reflection. And what was the laws of reflection for a wave? Angle of incidence of a wave will always be equal to angle of reflection. So that holds, though your syllabus doesn't discuss about it, but you should know that in reflection of sound, the angle of incidence of the sound wave will be equal to the angle of reflection. One or two, three aspects of reflection that we study, one being echo. Echo is when an observer who himself or herself is the sound emitter hears her own sound after a fixed interval. कैसे हो. So it can be first echo, second echo, third echo. इतना complicated तो है नहीं. ICSE में class 10 में they make you calculate second echo, third echo. So let's understand the concept of echo. So let's say you have a plane surface and you have an obstruction which is like a cliff, and you have a person out here who is actually making a sound. Okay, so the concept is that once he makes this sound, he will be hearing this sound immediately, because this sound is being made in air. So the speed is around how much? The air speed of sound in air is about 344 to 340 to 344. Okay, heavens don't fall. 344 meters per second. So इस speed में he will hear it immediately. But if you are doing it with, say, some rifle firing or some pistol firing, then you will hear it two distinct sounds, or maybe more than two. So what happens? The first one he has heard when the sound wave from his mouth has reached his eardrum. The second one would be that it will go hit a barrier and then again come back and come to his ears. So obviously there will be a delay in it, right? In order to understand echo, we need to understand that human ear can distinguish two sounds separated by an interval of 0.1 seconds, right? There should be two intervals, and the interval should be 0.1 seconds. Like in grade 8, you studied something called persistence of vision, that if two photos are shown with a time interval less than 1/16th of a second, you cannot make out the difference between the two photos. It appears continuous to you. That's what is being done in those time lapse and other thing. So here in hearing, if there is a gap of 0.1 seconds, gap hona hai do signal ke beech mein, then only I can hear an echo. If the other sound comes before 0.1, then you won't be able to hear the echo. It is like, मतलब 0.1 के बीच में, if you get two signals, they are treated by the human ear as one signal. Hello, hello, like very quickly. Now you're hearing hello, hello as twice. If the same hello was with a gap of 0.1, less than 0.1, it will come as one hello to you. So our interest would be that how far should a particular obstruction be so that you can hear the echo distinctly. So we use the same formula. Distance is equal to speed into time. 344 into 0.1 second. So second cancels off second. 344 into 1 by 10, which is equal to 34.4. That should be the distance. Now that distance is the distance traveled by the wave. यहाँ पे catch है. Now let's say if this distance is d dash, then the total distance the wave travels is once it goes, once it comes. So distance traveled by the wave is 2d dash. समझ में आया? So इसको हम लिख सकते हैं अभी 2d dash, which is equal to 34.4 meters, which means d dash is equal to 17.2 meters. So this is an important, एक मार्क क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता है. The rough average distance of an obstruction from a human being or a source of sound for you to hear the distinct echo should be 17.2 meters in air. Air में आपको अगर echo सुनना है तो 17.1 मीटर की दूरी पे ही ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन होना चाहिए। अब वो जो किचन में वॉल है वो भी तो 17.2 मीटर्स की दूरी पे है, फिर हम एको क्यों नहीं सुन रहे हैं? वो एको एब्जॉर्ब हो जा रहा है। देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स इन दिस पर्टिकुलर रूम which is absorbing that echo. That echo is unable to travel to me. Clear concept of echo? Okay. Then we have another thing which is called multiple reflection. Okay. Echo के बाद हम देखते हैं reverberation. Reverberation is something they will ask you like what do you mean by reverberation? ये समझ में आया echo? ठीक है, चलिए। Reverberation. Reverberation. Now this is something, let's say you have a room which has got a shape like this, yes, it's a shape hai, and you've got a sound source. Now these sound source will go get reflected, यहाँ से जाएगा reflect होगा, यहाँ पे जाएगा reflect होगा, यहाँ जाएगा reflect होगा. So multiple reflections of sound will actually give you a feel that the sound still persists. Are you understanding? Reverberation happens when you actually enter into a flat which is absolutely vacant. यहाँ हम ना बेडरूम बनाएंगे, हमारा सोफा यहाँ रहेगा रहेगा, persistence होते रहता है. The sound still persists because this sound will then come up, it will again hit here, again one more. So this is multiple reflections. These are the keywords. Multiple reflections, and as a result, the sound still persists. Have you experienced this? If you enter a blank, what do you call a completely empty flat में आप घुसते हो ना, बात करोगे तो कैसे होता है? यहाँ मेरे टेबल रहेगा, तो इसको or else if you enter your school auditorium and say on that day there is no function and you have entered and you try talking, there will be a lot of reverberation. The sounds emitted from the source undergo multiple reflection, as a result of which the sound still persists. Is it a desirable thing? No, absolutely undesirable. Typically, questions will be asked to you if you are in a concert hall. So if you are in a concert hall, this is absolutely not desirable. Then same sound will keep on persisting. So what they do, they will actually make dome shaped, नीचे कर देते हैं, और उसके बाद every reflection is sent to the bottom part and there will be sound absorbing what you call material. Though you are very underaged, but if you have had the good luck, or say any pub and discos, if you enter, okay, once you enter a pub and disco, अंदर में बहुत आवाज चल रहा है, बाहर समझ में नहीं आता है. There is so loud music. So every pub and discos will always have two doors. First door, then there will be a gap section, then there will be another door. And the door, the walls, if you go and touch those, if you go to any pub or disco, you'll see everything is very cushion. Sofas are cushion, walls are cushion. They should all absorb the sound. Otherwise, reverberations will not give you. पब्लिक को तो उस गाने पे डांस करना है ना, वो गाना क्लियरली आएगा ही नहीं. तो आप अगर घर में भी होम थिएटर्स लाते हो, योर फर्स्ट जॉब इज डू नॉट हैव sound proof. Like in cinema theaters, you'll have thatch boards, very cushioned walls. The main reason is to absorb reverberations. So is reverberations clear? Reverberation is multiple reflection of sound, creating a perception that the sound still persists. Totally undesirable in concert halls as well as in music shows. So as a result, the shows and the stages are made dome shaped, and a lot of cushioning will be done with soundproof material. जो भी ये सब आ रहा है, इन्हें क्या करो, एब्जॉर्ब कर लो. समथिंग लाइक जैसे आप पहले किसी को नूडल्स वगैरह सर्व करते हो ना, तो एक नूडल ट्वी होके रहता है, द मोर एंड मोर यू टेक इट स्टिल ट्वी होके रहता है. फिर आप ये खाना जयदीप सर को देना है, उनको तो देखने में खराब लगेगा, फिर क्या करते हो, टिश्यू पेपर इज द बेस्ट, डैब 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 डैब, खाना जहां दिया हुआ. या फिर व्हेन यू स्टार्ट पोरिंग पनीर लिटिल बिट, ऑयल विल स्पिल आउट. इफ यू हैव एक्सपीरियंस, थाली डजंट लुक गुड, फिर क्या करना है, साइड से थोड़ा सा चिप 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 कर दो, अच्छा लग रहा है, हाँ, फिर सब मैंने बनाया है. ठीक है, क्लियर. चलिए रेवर्बेशंस हो गया. अब आते हैं use of multiple reflections of sound. So what are the use of multiple reflections of sound? Megaphones, these are very easy. Use of multiple reflections of sound. Number one is megaphone. आप लोगों को सूचित किया जा रहा है. Multiple reflection. Then sound. More than megaphone, I find the best part is the stethoscope. The stethoscope जो डॉक्टर्स लेते हैं ना, उसमें क्या होता है, you try to hear the heartbeats and the stethoscope will have you कभी look next class I'll get one ad चाहिए तो. A stethoscope will always have one hole out here. Whenever you are supposed to hear it, you are supposed to put your finger on that hole and hold it hard. And one of the best company, the best of the stethoscope are the ones used for pediatricians. बच्चों के लिए जो यूज कर उनके heartbeats. The best company is known as Littman. देखना कभी भी डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे ना, अगर डॉक्टर का स्टेथो एल लिखा हुआ है ना, बड़ा कॉस्टली स्टेथो है, 35, 40, 45,000 का होगा वो एक स्टेथोस्कोप. लिटमन इज द बेस्ट कंपनी फॉर पीडियाट्रिक स्टेथोस्कोपी. लगाते ही डिग डिग सुनाई देगा. रिमाइंड मी नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल ब्रिंग इट, थोड़ा देर सुन सकते हो. So a stethoscope also picks up multiple. So once your heart vibrates, the doctor is going to hold it tight against your back and on your chest and ask you to breathe to see if there is any, like my condition, if there is any mucus or other thing built up. Then how will the breathing come as? So he'll understand that there is a lot of cough buildup or mucus buildup. There's a cough buildup, so he has to clear it. And those vibrations travel across the small tube of the sthetho, multiple reflections. I come to you. Even the fiber optics that we use, that is multiple reflection of optical wave. Do you know the broadband that you are using is fiber optic? इसमें कोई copper wire नहीं है. There's no copper wire. It's a pipe actually with a small LED glowing from the source. And since it is total internal reflection, it just reflects inside. There is no loss of signal. It's a very excellent quality of signal. That's why the speed in broadband is so good. उसमें कोई वायर नहीं है, वो जो काटते हैं ना उसको, that is a very small tube, उस ट्यूब में, but that is multiple reflections of light. Stethoscope is a multiple reflection of sound wave. So you have got megaphone, stethoscope. Sometimes multiple reflections from ceilings will be undesired in a theater and all. So what do you make it? You make them dome shaped. Then comes your range of hearing. I think range of hearing we have discussed. What is the range of hearing? 20 to 20,000 hertz for a normal human being. And then applications of sound, ultrasound. So ultrasound के दो applications है. एक तो medical application हो गया, where ultrasound waves are used to pick up any abnormality in any of your organs, and they can also image it. That is a bit complex. So ultrasounds are sent and their reflections are picked up. So there will be a probe. The probe will be, has anyone undergone ultrasound? No one. Okay, good. You should not also. No, not that. Ultrasound is where you will be made to lie down and the doctor, the radiologist will hold a probe generally done in your abdomen area, and they will start pressing the probe on your abdomen area. It's just like a roll-on deo, देखे हो roll-on deo, उसका मुंह जैसा रहता है. So they will put some gel on your tummy and keep on doing that, and the imaging starts. So from the ultrasound, reverse imaging is created. So they can create the image of that particular organ. So they will, like say, typically it tells you like how much distance this wave has traveled. So the computer calculates the reflections, how many. So based on that, they calculate the distance plot. Based on that distance plot, they can get you the picture. Yeah, gel is transparent. So they will tell you like what is the size of your, like typically like the problems I faced. So when there is an infection, then obviously the kidney will be swollen. So they will tell you what is the right kidney size, what is the left kidney, is there little bit of swelling in this kidney, and if there are some small stones, they can catch those stones also. In X-ray से better होता है ultrasound. Ultrasound से भी better होता है CT scan. But CT scan is absolutely, means if there is a small trace like in not metal, a CT scan is scanning your whole body. If even a mustard seed is there in your body, it will track that also and tell you what is the size. So sometimes better is to do the CT scan. In all these things, you lose cells. It is not good for your body. But at the end of the day, we call them as, in medical, there are two terms. One is called invasive. One is called non-invasive. Is that meaning जानते हो? Invasive is a procedure from which you run away from the doctor. Scissor, needle, scalpel, invasive. It will invade your body. Non-invasives are procedures. You will first ask, dard to nahi hoga na? The human being is very afraid of pain. First thing is get the pain out of that child's or that person's head. No, not anesthesia. The process is non-invasive. So when ultrasound is done, what is the only damage you will do? Your t-shirt will get a little bit wet क्योंकि वो jelly रहता है. That's the only thing. There is no pain. आपके वो cells मरने से आपको क्या पता चल रहा है? आपको तो दर्द नहीं हो रहा है ना. But if I tell you, I'll give you one intravenous injection, pain होगा ना. So ये सब non-invasive procedures हैं. Non-invasive is something which a patient welcomes very easily. There is no sort of pain. CT scan, non-invasive, but so much dangerous that even the operator does not stay in that room. Only you are there in that room, and you will be made to go inside a tunnel. And then once you go inside the tunnel, then the voice will say from inside, now hold your breath deep. फिर वो तेलुगु में भी बोलता है, यहाँ पे हिंदी में भी बोलेगा. Then it will say, release your breath. Again, your body will come out. And when the body comes out, it's not that the leg goes inside. The head goes inside first. So it's like a tunnel. आप पूरा अंदर घुस जाओगे और उस रूम में कोई नहीं है. And before leaving you, she will tell you, कुछ भी गड़बड़ लगे ना, ये बटन दबा दीजिए. Because it's high magnetic. It's like you're put into a microwave oven. A lot of noise will be created and the magnetron will rotate in front of you. So invasive, non-invasive. Ultrasound testing is non-invasive. So that's why one of the things, like, like a womb where a fetus is developing, that is called the prenatal and the postnatal stage. So prenatal stage, all the developments of the from the embryo to zygote to the development of that fetus can be all done by ultrasound. But again, a catch. Like abroad, in US and all, now you all will study, you should know, in US and all, determining the gender of the child before birth is legal. Rather, that's a happy moment. They will say, you're getting a baby boy, baby girl, so they'll go like that. But in India, it's a crime. It's an offense. So next time you go to any diagnostic center, you'll always see a signboard written, determining the gender of the fetus is a punishable offense in India, straight imprisonment. Any doctor who does that is also to be imprisoned along with you. That is known as amniocentesis. Amniocentesis is the process by which the gender of the fetus can be determined. Why is it prohibited in India? Any guess?
If it's then
This is called female feticide. Itna female feticide hua hai that the sex ratio, gender ratio in some parts of India is bizarre. We have got like to every 999 boys, you don't have even double digit girls are there. Like this is the ratio. Itna female feticide hua hai. So that's why this thing is banned in India. Otherwise, every growth. And sometimes, like, there are many people who are very smart. They say, is he moving? Doctor will say, if it's the doctor, the question kaise puchta hai? Is he moving? Doctor will say, yes, the fetus is doing well. No he, no she. ये सब भी चालाकी करते हैं लोग, पर ये सब नहीं करना चाहिए. ठीक है? Non-invasive. Now, this is when we do it for a human being. Okay? When we do it for a human being. You can also do it for machinery also. You can do it for machinery. In this we say there are two types of tests. Destructive and one is called non-destructive. Okay, let's see a destructive test. Let's say we want to check what is the shock proof or how much is shock resistance is an iPhone screen. So what is the destructive test? Take the iPhone screen and break it and see at how much force it is breaking. That is known as the destructive test. Non-destructive, where the equipment is not damaged, yet you arrive at the same stage. Same sort of test, okay? Like, some of you must have baked cakes. So what do? You take a stick and you put inside the cake and you pull the stick out to see whether it's still, it's still porridge or still batter. So you get to know whether the cake is curing from inside. Now, like fools, if you increase the oven temperature, then you'll see browning on the cake happening. अंदर खाते ही कैसा इडली का बैटर जैसा आ रहा है, कच्चा केक खा रहे हो आप, because the cake has not cured. उसमें आपको केक काटने की जरूरत नहीं है, नॉन डिस्ट्रक्टिव, यू आर जस्ट पुटिंग अ प्रोब इनसाइड. But if you would have had an ultrasound tester, which is much costly, you can actually check the quality of the cake even without putting that prick. So it will tell you how much curing is happening inside. So ultrasounds are used for this type of tests. In machine language we call them as NDT, non-destructive test. So how a non-destructive test takes place, let's say there is a piece of steel or a concrete which is to be used for a very high-end application, no cracks and no sort of pores should be present. Suppose there is a crack, अंदर में crack है, हमें पता नहीं चलेगा, तो इसको आप क्या तोड़ के नहीं देख सकते हो. इसमें हम क्या करते हैं, वी विल हैव अल्ट्रासोनिक ट्रांसमीटर एंड अल्ट्रासोनिक रिसीवर, TR और RX बोलते हैं, एंड यू विल send ultrasounds from here, signals from here. So every ultrasound signal that you send, you should be able to receive it. But whenever there will be a dent, ये ultrasound जाएगा नहीं. So suppose you have sent some say to 2000 counts and you are getting 18880 or 18890 something like that. That means some rays did not reach you. इसका मतलब अंदर में curing बराबर का नहीं है. ये product को reject कीजिए. This is called non-destructive test in ultrasound. Did you understand how this is done? And also submarines, another thing, like sonar is not discussed in your application. Sonar is a technology in which you can actually pick up whether there are submarines or not in sea. So there are two ways we do it. Let's say you have a ship out here. The ship will have a sonar sensor out here. So the ship keeps on radiating sound waves, ultrasonic sound waves out here. So one peaceful use of it is for oceanography, in which you want to find out how deep the ocean is. Suppose there is an enemy submarine out here. This is the enemy submarine, okay? Now once the submarine makes any sort of noise, noise means even bubbling out water. Submarine construction is the art of engineering. Submarine also releases waste products. आप इतने लोग अंदर हो, where are your human waste going? Where are other things going? Submarine releases many things, but it cannot make any noise. If a submarine makes a noise, immediately it will be detected and torpedoed. And the worst things of a submarine are, once a submarine goes inside, there is no contact with the top. There's no contact. An aircraft has a contact. Submarines have no contact. अब एक चीज सोच सकते हो आप कि यहाँ से वायर लेके जाएगा, नहीं, कुछ नहीं रहता है. It just goes. And battery submarines need to come up every time for recharging, but the nuclear submarines can remain 6 months, 9 months right below. चुपके से रहेगा वो, आवाज भी नहीं करेगा. It will be quiet itself. It won't make any noise. And can move whenever it wants. So there also submarines are picked up by sonar navigation. That too, they will give you a tentative idea that an object is out here, and once they can find that object, submarine. And similarly, the submarine also keeps on watching out for ships outside. It can also torpedo. The submarine can fire from the front, submarine can fire from the back also. और तो कुछ है नहीं. Yeah, we don't have anything more. That's it. How many of you, okay, we can stop it